You're trying to save me, stop holding your breath. And you think I'm crazy, yeah, you think I'm crazy.
Hi my angels, it's Haley Reese, and today's video is one that I just feel really compelled to share with you. This channel means so much to me, not only because I love to come on here and share my stories, and I love to research things, and I love to see you guys, but also because when I get any sort of message from you guys saying that I've helped you in any way, or I make you want to be more positive about life, or I help you to change your perspective, or just help you in any way that you share that with me, my heart just feels so complete, and it makes me feel like I am living out my purpose. I am only human, and I am somebody who not only can accept that, but wants to use social media to show you guys not just the side that like is my best, but to show you the side of me that is real and that is human and that is completely flawed and imperfect. And hopefully that can help you guys to understand that we're all just human, and we're all flawed, and we're all imperfect, and we all go through things and struggle. With social media, sometimes it's so easy to think that everybody else is so perfect, that their lives are so perfect. I feel like there's people who are gonna click on this video and be like, oh, she's finally coming out as schizophrenic. And by the way, that is so mean. Like, so very few and very few and far between, but occasionally I will get like a comment on my video that basically says like that I'm schizophrenic, or that this is a psychiatric disorder, and that it's not anything like spiritual or paranormal. It's really rude to self-diagnose people. At the end of the day, like, you're not a doctor, and I think that that's really not kind, but it doesn't bother me because I enjoy sharing my stories, and I know that I don't suffer from schizophrenia. However, I do suffer from mental illness, and I feel like it's not something to be ashamed of, and it's not something that I want to hide from you guys, because I feel like there's a lot more people than we even realize that suffer with mental illness daily. And I just really want to be a voice to share with you how I've overcame some things that I struggle with, and the reality of the mental illness that I suffer with. So I suffer highly with anxiety, with obsessive compulsive disorder, and in turn that has led me to suffer from depression. I also really want to apologize because I know that in my I'm being haunted video, I so nonchalantly said like, oh, you know, I'm OCD, so I know when things are out of place. And while that is very true, I made it sound like I don't actually suffer from OCD on a serious level, and I do. That is like the most minor of the things that my OCD causes me to feel and think, and causes me to behave like. I think it's really important that we realize and we recognize that on any form of illness in general, in any sort of physical illness or a mental illness, there's a spectrum, and like not everybody is going to be to the same severity, and not everybody is going to be to the same like degree of mental illness. My suffering from obsessive compulsive disorder could be completely different and completely minor compared to what somebody else has, and I recognize that, but that doesn't make what I suffer with any less significant. Looking back now as an adult, I suffered from obsessive compulsive disorder and anxiety for so much longer than I even realized. For me, my obsessive compulsive disorder is more, I hope this makes sense, mental than physical. So I'm not always somebody who has like, you know, has to have things lined up or things like that. I'm somebody who, my obsessive compulsive disorder forces me to fixate on situations and problems over and over again, to the point where I drive myself to insanity. I find that my anxiety and my degree of OCD go hand in hand because I'm constantly stressing situations that don't need to be stressed. I will give you guys an example of something so minor, but it really stressed me out and caused a lot of stress on my family because I didn't stop. So I got this tattoo. Okay, this is so minor, but I'm trying to share with you just like the little things that like a mental illness can cause you to do and to think. I got this tattoo, I want to say like 2 years ago, and it's beautiful. The line work is incredible, but one part of it bled out a little bit. I mean, it's a tattoo, it's going into your skin, that's what happens. But I could not stop looking at it, and not to the point of like looking at it, like fixating on it. Like I would wear sleeves to cover it because I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that there was that little like imperfection in something permanent on my skin. I would wake up in the middle of the night stressing something so small as a tattoo that is beautiful over and over and over and over again. I talked about it so much that the people around me told me, if you don't stop talking about this, I'm gonna take you to get it lasered off. When a situation in my life happens, even if I don't have control over it, I will repeat it over and over and over and over in my head to the point of like literally causing me to like have an anxiety attack because I'm fixating on something so minor but so big to me. When I was younger, my anxiety and my social anxiety caused me to believe that everything that I did, people were judging me for it. So I couldn't even order a pizza on the phone for myself. Let's say I was home alone and I wanted to order a large pizza, okay? I would call the pizza guy. This is gonna sound so crazy. I would call the pizza guy and he would be like, oh, like, do you want any pop? And I was so, and he'd be like, do you want any pop with that? And I would be so embarrassed to let on that I was the only one getting this large pizza that I would literally go, do you guys want pop? No? Okay. Yeah, no, I think we're okay with no pop, but we'll get some ranch on the side. Like, but not even realizing that this pizza man could not care less if I'm eating a large pizza to myself. He's making a sale, right? With mental illness, there are gonna be good days and there are gonna be bad days. And one of the main reasons that I felt super compelled to make this video today is because I woke up and almost got myself into the funk of a bad day. And what people who don't suffer from mental illness don't realize is that you can be upset and depressed and have anxiety over things that don't even exist. And you don't even understand it. Like, there are days where I wake up and my life is wonderful and I am appreciative and thankful and grateful to God for the life that I live and what I get to do every single day and the family that I have around me. But I wake up and I hate myself sometimes and I can't even put my finger on why I wake up and I don't feel like getting out of bed and I don't feel like leaving my room and I don't feel like facing the world. This caused me for so many years to feel isolated, to feel alone. I have ruined so many friendships. Not because I was a bad friend when I was with them or because I wasn't a supportive friend, but because sometimes my mental illness would cause me to make plans and the day of I would have one of those days and my anxiety and my depression would take over and I just wouldn't want to leave the house and I would ditch my friends. And how do I explain to them that it's not them, that I want to hang out with them, that I want to go out and I want to do these things, but mentally and physically I can't find it in me today to do that. That is the main problem with mental illness, in my opinion, is that it isolates you and it makes you feel alone. And I felt so alone for so long that I honestly felt like nobody understood me, that I was worthless, and my mental illness caused me to believe that I was a bad person because I couldn't find it in me to get up that day, or I couldn't find it in me to eat, or I couldn't find it in me to take care of myself because I was just in such a negative state of mind. There are days where I don't love myself. And there are days where I wake up and I'm proud of myself and I'm proud of the woman that I am and I'm proud of the life that I live. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. And maybe you feel like that. And maybe there's one of you on here who's gonna watch this and say, I get it, Haley. I feel like that too. But you're never alone and you're never isolated and you're not crazy. And you are not your mental illness. You have a mental illness, if you have one, but you are not your mental illness. And that was one of the hardest things for me to learn. I have, you guys, these standards for myself that I feel like I can't live up to sometimes. And I wake up and I feel like I could be doing so much more in my life, and I could be, you know, doing 10 times more than I'm doing right now. Like, some days I wake up and I feel like I'm letting you guys down because I could be doing 10 times more for my channel, and I could be doing 10 times more for you guys. And that is one of the hardest feelings. And I will repeat it over and over and over and over in my head. And I will fixate on it, and I will create these rituals. And what I mean by rituals is like these patterns of things that I will do to try and make things better. I so badly want to have friends and wanted to have friends, but there are so many times where my mental illness caused me to have no friends because I couldn't find it in me to get out of bed that day or to go and see my friend or things like that. I am so fortunate and grateful that at this point in my life, I have more good days than bad days. But it wasn't always like that. And this is going to be a part 1 of a video because I'm going to be doing a second video on how to overcome those days where you just feel like you're worthless and you get into a state of anxiety or depression or isolation. And I feel like it's just so important to recognize that, like I said, we're just human and we're just trying to get by. And sometimes it's okay not to be okay. And I've learned to accept that. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be self-destructive. I was in such a state of depression that when I would drink, you guys, I would drink to the point like of past my limits. And it wasn't because I had a drinking problem. It was because I would try to mask the way that I was feeling with that when I would go out. I just stopped caring about myself for a period of time because my anxiety, my OCD, and my depression caused me to believe that I wasn't worth it, that I was worthless, and that no matter how hard I tried to do good, I would still always wind up doing bad. And there were friends that didn't understand that. And there were people who allowed me to become self-destructive and didn't sit me down and say, Haley, what are you doing with your life? Why are you making these decisions? Why are you being this type of person? But I was hurting inside and I was broken, and I was letting my demons win. And that is never okay. And I felt like nobody else in the world understood how I felt. If I can even like help one of you on this like tangent that I'm going on, I know I'm all over the place and I'm not really making the most amount of sense, but if I can even just help one of you by just telling you that you're not alone and that we've all been there, and telling you that I've been there, then I will feel like I'm doing my purpose, that I'm living out my purpose, because all I ever want is for you guys to never feel alone and to never feel like you don't have somebody in the world that understands you, because I understand you and I will always understand you, and I will always do my best to go above and beyond for all of you, because I was that person who needed somebody like that and I didn't always have that. I'm not perfect. I have good days, I have bad days, and I have days where I feel like I can't even continue. But that is all a part of our journey, I think, here on earth, is to really know what it means to feel and to know what it means to hurt and to struggle and to fall down 7 times but stand up 8, and to continue to push through everything that life throws us, so that someday when this all comes to an end and, you know, we go to wherever you believe we go, I believe we go to heaven, but wherever you guys believe we go, and we can say, I made it. I did it. I loved and I lost and I cried and I broke down and I loved and I was happy, and I never gave up, because even when life felt like I had no reason to continue, even when I felt isolated, alone, broken down, and my mental illness led me to believe that I was all of those things, I told my mental illness that I'm not those things, and that I'm strong and I'm worthy and I can overcome anything. Today, I woke up and I almost fell into that depression. And instead of doing that, I came on here, I told you guys how I struggle, and I chose happiness. Even when it felt like I couldn't, I chose happiness. And I just want you to know that you can always wake up and you can tell yourself that this isn't you. This is your mental illness, and you are going to beat it. This video was all over the place, you guys. I hope that it made sense. I hope that I can at least just help one person. And I just really want you guys to know that I love you more than anything. And you guys give me so much purpose and you add so much value to my life. And I love creating for you, and I love this channel, and everything that I get to do is all thanks to you guys, and I will never be able to truly show you how appreciative I am, but just know from the bottom of my heart, I really and truly am. If you guys ever feel alone, or ever feel afraid, or ever feel like you can't continue, I want you to know that I'm here, and I will always be here. And you are never alone. You are so much stronger than you feel in your moments of weakness, and I just pray that you know that in your heart. Well, you guys, that is it for today's video. I'm not even going to sit here and tell you to thumbs it up or to subscribe, because honestly, that's not what this video is about. This video is just me really expressing myself, coming on here and talking with you. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you.